What's up, Golf Sickos? We are extremely live. We are extremely live from the first tee at East Lake. We just finished up the Creator Classic. We are joined by the champion of the Creator Classic, Brad Dalke. Brad, I know you played professional golf for a couple years. I know you finished second in the U.S. Amateur. You ever won $100,000 playing golf before?
I have not. So that feels nice. The old pro career didn't go so well, so there weren't a whole lot of paychecks like that. But it felt good, and I was feeling it come down the stretch. I was feeling good all day.
Well, you were hitting it unbelievable.
Yeah, I think I hit every fairway and every green, so that helps out here a lot. I've been hitting it well, so it was nice to translate it into today too. So, but going down the stretch, luckily I built enough of a lead on the top four to be I wasn't too nervous. But that last hole, I was feeling it, and it was nice to make a birdie down the stretch.
Well, you really set a message. You set the tone on the first hole. And our friends over at AWS and the PGA Tour have been doing a lot of stuff with the Tourcast. In an effort to expand its coverage, there's 30,000 plus golf shots hit a single tournament. I thought that number was going to be for the whole year. That's every tournament. So how many golf shots are hit in a year? How are that many of that plus times 50? So the PGA Tour is now using AI shot commentary in its revolutionary Tourcast powered by AWS. Tourcast allows fans on the PGA Tour's app and website to see shot trails and data surrounding every single shot. Today, we're using that incredible depth of information accompanied by commentary to bring shots like Brad's tee shot on the first to life. Brad, walk us through your keys with driver right now, because you had it on a string today.
Yeah, I've been hitting the driver so well today, which if you have seen any of my YouTube or Good Goods, I had the driver yips for 6 years.
What does that mean? Because when a guy of your caliber says driver yips, I don't know what it means.
100 yards right, 100 yards left, you didn't know where it was going. Wow. I would hit National Championship one year, at Carson Creek my junior year, didn't hit a single driver all week.
In the National Championship?
Didn't trust it. It was going to go in the crap if I hit driver, pretty much. So I have so much confidence, and YouTube has helped that. It's been the perfect middle ground.
Well, you're like the big fish.
Yeah, and it's been the perfect middle ground of there's enough pressure with the camera that you're going to expose yourself a little bit, but also there's more freedom. You're not spending money on entry fee, stuff like that. So you can kind of go out there and try things. I've gained so much confidence. It's fun to see it translated. Right now I'm just trying to think of my head's not swaying off the ball, keep the right arm wide at the top, and then just rip it from there. And it's been feeling great.
I know you have to go. I've got two questions for you.
Yeah.
Have you discussed with Blake the split on the cat? Is he getting the standard 10% for a win? Is $10,000 going Blake's way?
That's what I told him. I might throw him a little bit extra, just
Oh, I thought you were going to say a little bit less.
No, I might throw him a little extra. No, he did fantastic. Blake he's one of. I wish I saw him more. He's with Good obviously, but he kind of does a lot of the extra stuff, and he just doesn't really travel with us much. But he's one of my favorite guys in the world. He's such a good dude. He's fun to be around, and that for me, like having a caddy. I don't necessarily. I did everything today when it comes to club selection, reading the greens. I don't necessarily need that. I just need someone I can be comfortable with out there. I can talk to, have fun with, and he's literally the nicest guy in the entire world. No one could ever hate him, and so we love Blake. So I might throw a little extra cheddar at him.
So Blake and I were talking all day because we were on the first hole. I said, Blake, are you at all familiar with the numbers situation for how to show me what club?
Yeah.
And he said, what is that? And I tried to kind of explain to him. He goes, what if I just go?
Read the lips.
So the whole day he was looking at me like on 15 before you hit that dart in there, and he goes, so we did a fantastic job. My second question for you. The way you played today, how much confidence you have in your game. I know Paige asked you, there's got to be a little bit in your head that's thinking, should I give this another shot?
Yeah. It's one of those things where, yes, I do want to go play some pro golf.
Well, now it's so you could play and you have this, this is not going anywhere.
So there's so much less stress if I go play more, because I know if it doesn't work out, I'll always fall back on YouTube. I'll always have income in my back pocket. There's no mini tour grinding where it's like if I don't make a cut here, I might not be able to pay for the next one. And so I definitely want to try some. The Good schedule is busy, and I love doing the Good stuff. It's been so much fun with those boys, traveling and just trying to grow that channel to something crazy big. And so it's a mixture. Maybe we can find a way to kind of do both. Maybe I miss a good week here and there to play a tournament. I don't know.
Well, if you're a PGA Tour tournament director and you are looking for a guy to invite to your sponsors, a guy who you'd play if they invited you,
100%.
Even if they didn't let you film, you'd play.
100%. Oh, 100%.
Okay, so I think we have instructions.
Yes. Yeah. I'm okay with not filming if I get in. I will gladly accept that offer and go play.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We don't want to keep you any longer.
Thanks for having us.
Fantastic stuff today.
Thank you.
Wow, what a great start to the show. You're all clear, buddy.
Let's go.
I'll see you.
Nice seeing you guys.
Yeah, good seeing you.
You too, always.
What a guy. No, you're good.
couldn't happen.
Brad was here. Yeah, are we going to move that seat? We're just going to keep that seat?
Rick will sit there.
Rick will sit there. All right, so we hopped right into it. Obviously, been a little bit of a crazy half hour, 45 minutes here because the weather just completely turned. It was hot and steamy the entire afternoon, and then I started feeling raindrops actually on 15T, and then the rain subsided, and then the rain came back with a vengeance. I don't know if they just let us finish until they blew the horn, but the horn blew probably 10 seconds after.
It couldn't have been better time.
It certainly felt like one guy was looking at the radar saying, we got to call this, and the other guy was maybe Chad being like, do we really have to call this right now? But we got it in, and I think it was a fun afternoon.
It was good showbiz. A pouring rain on the playoff hole.
Yeah.
And the horn blowing
The
right
slow-mos
afterward.
will look really nice.
And we couldn't have, had a better winner. It's only a matter of time. And a guy that, I'm glad that he just said that. He's
Yeah.
like, I'm in.
Well, I asked,
let him know.
I asked him the money question, which was, even if they don't let you film, we
Even
can
if
still
you
play.
don't, yeah.
We're obviously referencing. You know what? We're not obviously referencing anything. I just asked him questions.
No.
I just asked him
He's
a
a
fair
YouTuber,
question.
yeah.
Yeah, Brad, I was with his group all day. He was, from the first tee shot that we showed on the show throughout the entire day, he was absolutely flushing. Not a surprise. Finished second in the USAM. So,
Well, it is a little wild when you look at, the two people he's playing with are not scrubs, and he's out driving them by 71 yards. That's a little wild.
he's got different gas off the tee, and also I think Micah sort of has that gas too, but Brad has that gas more often.
If you can
Brad
hit it
is-
100 yards offline, you can hit it 70 yards past people, and you have that power.
Right. So Micah hit one of the craziest tee shots you'll ever see on 17. There's 160 yards between his and Luke Kwan's ball on the 17th hole. But Brad's just he's more consistent. He's a really, really, really solid player. I think he is the best player on YouTube Golf. That would be my declaration. But yeah, really, really great Creator Classic. That was 3 of them. We did all 3 this year.
Yeah,
We did, and
yeah.
they all went very well.
And the second one here.
Second one here, yeah, we started this last year with Luke Kwan winning it. And then we were at Grant Horvat with a big-time performance at TPC Sawgrass. Then it was kind of the team one, the alternate shot situation at the Truist. I think Eric Anders Lang's team won that.
Correct.
I remember interviewing
Josh
him. I was
Richards.
supposed to interview the winner. We did it on our show, but I was supposed to do it on the show, but the rain kind of canceled that. So we got to start our show a little bit earlier. All right, well, that is going to conclude sort of our Creator Classic segment of the show. We're going to do what we do now best, which is sicko talk about golf.
Yeah, there's another thing happening
There's
here
another
this week.
there's another thing happening. There's a few things happening this week. So, Tour Championship, big news. The Tour Championship, the Tour always uses as sort of like a State of the Union. It's obviously the last event of the year. I feel like we always get a commissioner press conference at the Players, and then we always get a commissioner press conference at the Tour Championship. What's different about this one versus the last one is that it was Brian Rolat who was doing the press conference. Obviously, the new PGA Tour CEO. He said he's been in the job for 3 weeks. I know for a fact that he's had conversations with basically every PGA Tour player that there is. He's made time to call them and get to know them. And one of the big pieces of news that he was talking about is the changes to the schedule. So there's a new PGA Tour schedule that has been released, and there's the probably the most notable bit is there's a new tournament. We're not going back to an old place. So Doral was on the PGA Tour schedule, I want to say from the 1960s until 2016, I think. Now Trump, Doral, they're going back there, and Trump was not going to bring a tournament back that wasn't going to be a signature event.
Yeah.
That's pretty open and closed.
Yeah.
And so we have another signature event. I think when we first started with the signature events, there was a lot of talk about we're going to move them around, and it's going to be different ones, and maybe these kind of normal events, so to speak, the Byron Nelsons of the world are going to get it sometimes. It doesn't seem to be happening right now, and so they added a 9th event without taking anyone away. And so what this creates is an extremely condensed kind of ballers only schedule. There's no real other way to put it. I mean, starting at the Masters, if you're the top 50 player in the world, you're playing the Masters, which is the Masters. You're playing RBC Heritage the next week, which is a signature event. Then it's the team competition, New Orleans. So a lot of guys will take that off. Then it's signature event, Miami Championship, which is going to have a title sponsor. Signature event, Truist Championship, and then PGA Championship the next week. So
stretch.
there are 2 sort of opposite field events in that stretch, the Zurich Classic and the One Flight Myrtle Beach Classic. One of those is a team event, and one of those is an opposite field event. So if you're one of those guys in the 70-ish range, you could go from, the Masters, April 5th or 6th, all the way, your next opportunity to play a full field, full point PGA Tour event is May 18th. And that's going to be obviously a topic of discussion for two reasons. Number one, the players are going to have to play a lot in a short period of time. And you know, we saw Rory McIlroy skip a playoff event this year. He's obviously not scared to do that. They asked Justin Thomas about what Rory did and if he might do the same, and let's roll that.
Yeah, I go back and forth on that. I'm a believer in the sense of all of us playing in all these events is kind of the purpose of them. But at the same time, it's something of, like, I look at it in the sense of if there's like a particular golf course or there's something to where I don't feel like I can play well, or it's a place that maybe doesn't fit my eye, and historically whatever it may be, then as a professional golfer, I have a hard time. Like, I always felt that way about the WGC in China. Like, that was a course where it's like I went and played, and I am grinding my tail off to shoot like 1 or 2 under every day, and like 25 under wins, and I'm just like, I don't see it. Like, I can't fathom how people can shoot those scores.
It's amazing that Justin Thomas feels that way about certain golf courses, because I feel that way about certain golf courses. North Ranch, there's a North Ranch Country Club.
Oh, yeah.
You play North Ranch?
No, but I have a family member that's a member there, and I know it to be narrow.
So I played the high school invitational, whatever it is, at North Ranch. It's the only time I ever called my dad in the middle of the round. And I said, Dad, I'm going to shoot 100. And he said, well, you might shoot 95, and you're not quitting. And I didn't quit. But I've never been back to North Ranch.
No?
No.
You know,
and
Taylor Losey's a member there.
I haven't been. My buddy Bobby's a member. He's invited me. I haven't been honest with why I haven't accepted the invite. I am deathly afraid of North Ranch. I've heard that they've taken out some trees, and it's not as claustrophobic as it used to be. But I'm scared shitless of North Ranch, and I'm sure you have courses like that too.
Yeah, Brentwood Country Club.
Brentwood does kind of eat your lunch. We play it all the time, and you can't. It's like death by 1,000 cuts out there for you.
It's the first place I thought of when I watched that clip for the first time.
Yeah.
JT just said.
But
you know what I like about that is he's sticking to his guns about being like the representative that says like, well, we're supposed to do it.
Well, here's the thing. The players wanted all the players playing together more often, and they also want an off season. How do you do that without creating a really cramped schedule? And I don't hate it. I mean, Masters is sort of the biggest event in our sport, and I think it's great that we can build on that. You know, go ham from really golf season. You know, it lasts through August with the Tour Championship and with the FedEx Cup, but like the meaty part of golf season that the most people are paying attention, I do believe, is between April 1st and the Open Championship in the end of July. And
it's
then
a perfect storm of the Masters happening and golf season starting like on the East Coast too. So it's like spring is like everybody's got fever.
Spring has sprung, and you've got the majors coming every month, and then in between them having big tournaments. April through June is now like the meat of the golf season, and I don't hate it because toward the end of summer, you know, people are outside, people are traveling, the attention starts to move toward training camp. I just don't think that there's a way to create these bigger events with more of the best players without doing this in some capacity. And I feel for the guys who aren't going to get to play a full field event for like a month and a half. I do, but life's not fair. And I don't want to say play better. It's very reductive. But, you know, back when all this was going on, and a lot of the guys were saying, well, this is all moving, the schedule's moving into the hands of the top guys. The top guys is just another way of saying the better golfers.
Who's playing the best, yeah.
Ben Griffin is here. He's 6th in the FedEx. He was nowhere on our radar last year. I mean, Andrew Novak, Jacob Bridgman, the same thing. And that's what Rory was saying. You know, someone asked, what would you say to the guys who are, you know, between 70th and 90th? And he said, I would tell them to look at what Jacob Bridgman did this year. It can be you. So
because he can win this tournament this week and make a shit ton of money.
He could win this tournament this week.
With the new format.
He could win this tournament. He could win the FedEx Cup. I don't think that they want him to win the FedEx Cup, but it's absolutely possible. So Brian Rolapp is now the PGA Tour CEO, obviously coming from the NFL where he was the number 2 there. I think widely viewed to be a potential successor for Roger Goodell. I'm not saying that he won't still be a successor to Roger Goodell, but I think it was a big-time get for the PGA Tour.
Oh, yeah.
And I think one of the reasons why is, you know, for all of Jay Monahan's relationships in golf, which are aplenty, their Jay Monahan relationships in golf. He's a golf guy. He came up through his tournament director at the Players Championship, came up through tour leadership. Brian Roloff doesn't even really play that much golf, it seems. Doesn't even have a handicap. And so he is coming, and you need an outsider, I think, if you actually want change.
Yeah.
It is so hard to motivate someone from the inside to make these lasting, drastic changes. And that's why Rory was really happy with the hire. Let's hear Rory talk about Brian Roloff.
So I hadn't met him up until last week, and I was able to spend a good 90 minutes with him, just talking through everything to do with the tour, and what's the whole thing over the past 3 or 4 years, and what the future looks like. And I like him. I like him a lot. I like that he doesn't come from golf. I like that he doesn't have any preconceived ideas of what golf should look like or what the tour should look like. I think he's going to bring a fresh perspective to everything, and I think he wants to move pretty quick. So I'm excited.
When he talks, Brian Roloff, he's got a certain gravitas.
Yeah.
He's I don't want to say he's scary, but I wouldn't want to cross him.
He's confident. And I think one thing that Rory just said that might not necessarily be true is that he doesn't have preconceived notions. I think everything I'm hearing around here this week is that this guy knows what he wants to do. He is decisive. He has a plan. He's got good ideas in his head, and he's ready. I mean, Rory said that at the end. Let's go.
He's ready to do it. There's a new committee. We're going to talk about in that in a little bit. But he was asked, as the PGA Tour CEO has been asked for the last 3 years, have you spoken to the PIF? Have you spoken to the Saudi PIF? He said, I have not had any conversations with the Saudi PIF. He has had a conversation with the head of the PGA World Tour. It seems like that deal is on ice. Seems like the deal's on ice. That's just kind of the vibe that I'm getting. Doesn't mean, things come off ice, but it felt like we were really close. Felt like we were close when we got the framework agreement. We thought we had a deal. And then there was also murmurs earlier this year when they were all meeting at the White House that we might be close. I think bringing a new guy in, I think the PGA Tour feeling pretty energized by its ratings. The ratings have been really good. And I think what's also a really good sign for the tour is Scottie's victories are doing very well.
They're rating well, and they have their star. They have their nucleus now.
They are rating well. And I think that there was, it just shows the difference between Twitter and real life of I think there's a lot of talk about, Scottie's boring. I think that everyone, we had LeBron James was tweeting about it. Patrick Mahomes was tweeting about it. I think when you have a guy who is this good and is winning at a clip, he's got 12 wins over the last 2 seasons on the PGA Tour, 13 if you count the Olympics, and 3 majors. It's a Tiger-like run, absolutely, following up a 7-win season with a 5-win season and a multiple major season. I think Rick was saying that he has better stats. Rick's going to join us on the show in a sec. He has better stats this year than he did last year, which is pretty incredible. We're going to talk to Rick, I'm sure, a little bit about that. But I think that him rating really well puts wind in the sails of the PGA Tour, and I just don't think that they feel like they need to make a deal. I think what he's seeing is growth on our side, and then the question is, okay, well, would the growth be even more if all of these guys were back? But Roloff was asked today about, bringing the best players in the world, and he said, I think we have the best players in the world. And it's almost a situation, it's a very similar situation, actually, to the Saudi soccer situation, and I'll explain. Saudis have successfully recruited with insane salaries a lot of the top soccer players in their prime, not necessarily 35-year-olds, to go play in Saudi Arabia. The narrative isn't the Saudi Arabian league now has a lot of the best players in the world. The narrative is those guys went to the Saudi league. They're now no longer the best players in the world. And I think that's a really hard thing to shed. I think that's a really, really hard. You understand what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you're saying the guys that actually are still some of the best players in the world that did go, the Roms, the Niemans, the Bryson, yeah, they don't have that persona publicly, as they've shed some of that inclusion.
I just think it's really hard to increase your stature in the game on live. The only guy who's really done it is Niemann, and still all the narrative is about what he does in the majors. So
and he didn't win, and Rom
clipped him. So I do think that there's this problem. Saudi soccer is sort of similar to, they've signed the players, and the players are in their primes, but it hasn't quite shifted the narrative to, we need to pay attention over there. I think it's more of once a guy goes to Saudi, it's almost like they become a little bit of an afterthought until, of course, we see them. And there are exceptions to this rule. Rahm is not an afterthought. Bryson is not an afterthought. But that's because they became these massive stars while they were playing on the PGA Tour. It's going to be fascinating to see. Liv's got its final event this week. They don't do negotiations with players during the season. They do it right after the season. It'll be. I mean, the rumor mill is going to start churning here. They didn't sign anybody really of note. Their biggest signing last year was Tom McKibben. Do we see a blue chip PGA player go, or can Liv afford another year where they're close 12 months closer to those contracts running up? Sure sounds like there's a lot of contracts running up in 2026. I almost think they have to sign someone big this offseason.
Well, I think afford is an interesting word. Like, and they can definitely afford
Yeah,
whoever
with
they
dollars,
want.
yes.
So it means a lot of people are saying no. If they're still asking, they're still doing it. I also think the fact that Mr. Rolap, his first priority wasn't meeting with them, says a lot too. Like, he hasn't spoken to them yet. Like, he's at their priorities.
Right.
Maybe
If
the
it
tour
was
feels
super important, he would have come in and been like, let's set up a meeting on Monday.
and I don't blame him, because I think things are going really well, as you said. Like, things
Yeah.
are rating well. They have a star. They have a nucleus. I keep saying that, but
No, I completely agree. But I do think Rolap coming at this with a sort of, I don't want to say cruel, but a very he's not like tied down by
It's
sentimentality. Yeah, like I think there's going to be this sort of split between. I mean, I was just reading an article about the new schedule by Bob Herrig, who was saying, this is bad for the tour because it's bad for the players who don't get full fields. I don't think the NFL, their decision making was like, you know what, we got to show the Tennessee Titans on TV more often.
yeah. Or we should expand these rosters to be 10 more guys, because like we should give some more guys a shot at
I
the
think
NFL.
he is so obsessed with this is the best tour in the world. It's going to be the best players. It's going to be the hardest tour card to get, and it's going to be the hardest tour card to keep, and you're going to have to earn it with your play. So I'm interested to see the future.
As the top of a professional sport probably just should be.
Right.
I mean, that's the goal for every league.
Right, and we were talking about. I had to come back this morning and shoot something in the morning because we were going to hit some balls on the range, and they were like, "You're absolutely not hitting balls on the range while the players are hitting balls on the range at the Tour Championship." And I was kind of like, "Fuck yeah!"
Yeah.
Like, this is serious business. Never really serious business between JT and Tiger Woods. Tiger tapped him on the shoulder to be his bestie / little brother, and they haven't looked back. And JT told a very funny story about a text message he sent to Tiger Woods. Let's hear it.
I remember playing a practice round and walking down 18 and FaceTiming Tiger and just because he wasn't here, he didn't qualify, and just showing him how the course was and how great it was, and then he acted like his phone cut out, and then he called me back like 2 minutes later with the green jacket on. I remember that very, very, very vividly. So just a typical conversation of thinking I am having some kind of upper edge, and I get shut down and put in my place pretty quickly.
He knew he was going to get something back with that text message.
Yeah, of course. It's not the first time they probably have ribbed each other. You know what I mean?
Just feel like there's certain people that are going to be really, really difficult to talk shit to. And I feel like Tiger Woods is probably one of those people.
I think number 2 is probably Phil Mickelson. Did you see the press conference? I don't know if this is old or new, but Brooks was saying something. Well, you're number 1 in the world. They give you a trophy. I have 2 of those. That Phil, I know you don't have one. He was like, oh yeah, I have 4 green jackets. You
Yeah,
asshole.
he's like, yeah, you want a green jacket? No, it's. I remember there was a video that went viral a couple months ago of Xander Schauffele talking about playing Michael Jordan in a golf match, and he's like, I try to talk shit to him, but it's pretty difficult.
I don't think that's a guy you can get through
it's
to.
pretty difficult to talk shit. Tommy Fleetwood, he talks shit to me a lot. We talk shit to each other. He knows that it would be. There's a very comedic eventuality that's a possibility here this week. Whoever wins the Tour Championship wins the FedEx Cup. It's one and the same. Which I think they should. It would be better if the FedEx Cup ended last week, and then this is but that's whatever. It's time for the future. That's
going places,
That's
yeah.
for Brian Rollout to figure out. But Tommy Fleetwood could go from 0 wins on the PGA Tour to being the FedEx Cup champion, and he sees the humor in it. Let's hear from Tommy.
There's so many unbelievable tournaments. I'm not going to be picky about which one I choose to have as the first win. This one would be a good one. I think there's a bunch. I really, really do. Putting emphasis on one is pretty hard, but I think this would be. I think it would be pretty funny if I won this week and then had the FedEx Cup as well. I think that would be funny, but no, I'm not going to be picky.
I think that's what Brian Rollout wants to get away from. I don't think he wants there to be any funny. It's like.
Oh yeah, he doesn't want Tommy to win this.
Well, I just don't think he wants it. It's like I don't think he wants you to walk away being like, that's kind of funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think he wants it to be season-long crowned. It's never funny when the Super Bowl winner wins.
Does that just mean that he wants Scottie Scheffler to win every tournament? Because that's the greatest competitor winning every tournament.
I think the best eventuality. I mean, Rory's obviously a huge star, and it would breathe some new life into Rory's year. But I think Scottie would be the the kismet, as we say in my tradition. That would be kismet.
I have a question for you. Knowing, watching Scottie Scheffler throughout the years and getting to know his personality a little bit.
My new best friend.
Do you think he is capable of having an actual rival? Like, could there ever be like a Tiger Phil in his situation because of his demeanor?
It's interesting. I had a conversation with Rory McIlroy very recently, and he said, I can't do it every single week. Like, it's not me. Like, I go through emotional highs and emotional lows, and we saw that after the Masters. He seems to be in much better spirits now, but
He's floating around here.
I feel like Rahm could do it, but they're not playing together enough. Scottie's on his own level right now, certainly on the PGA Tour.
I think Rahm could do it. I think Rahm could be the person to stoke him. I just don't know that he has the disposition to like respond ever to a rival. He's like so here.
Oh, you're saying would he ever be like, yeah, I really want to beat that guy?
I think he's just like, well, yeah, I want to beat you every week. I want to beat everybody every week. Like, I can't make a personal vendetta against anybody. It's me in golf.
I don't think he has a mean bone in his body, but
Yeah.
I think he's everyone who knows him well says he's hyper competitive. So I think he might be one of those guys who.
That's true. College
just
Scottie
like,
could come out of him.
I
At some
think
point.
he's just like, I want to crush this guy, and then he beats him on the last by 3, and he just takes his hat off. What a great competition!
Yeah, I
it was,
respect you for trying, man.
Just an absolute savage out there. I asked Tommy Fleetwood about the Keegan Bradley situation. So it's getting to be crunch time, obviously, with the Ryder Cup picks. I made my final picks, so I'm sticking by them. But there's a ton of intrigue as to who's going to make the team. I think Maverick McNeely has kind of popped his head back in the conversation with a strong week last week. He made it through to Eastlake. Kind of on the bubble, we've got Patrick Cantlay, we've got Sam Burns, we've got Cameron Young, Keegan's sort of on the bubble, and I asked Tommy if he's as interested as I am as to what Keegan's going to do. There's been so much speculation about whether Keegan Bradley is going to be a playing captain at the Ryder Cup. Are you guys on your side, are you guys as interested to see what he does as we are?
Probably not as interested as you are, no. I'm not interested. Obviously, it's the Ryder Cup coming up, and I think it's a big story. But he's obviously got a lot on his hands right now. He's got big decisions to make, and I think whatever Keegan and the US team decide to do is not something that is at all in our control, or something that we'll sort of be thinking too much about. I think focus on our team. Look forward to the opportunity to play in whoever it is that the 12 players are on that team. But it's nothing. It's nothing to do with us. It's nothing to do with Europe. And I, as a competitor and as a sort of peer, wish him all the best in whatever decisions he does make. I think it's going to be an amazing time for him either way. And yeah, whatever happens. I hope he, just wish him the best and look forward to playing against him.
Just a professional non-answer there.
It was such a Kermit the Frog. Like, that's none of my business.
Yeah, it was like I'm just gonna this question that you came in my direction. I'm just gonna kind of bob this way and then weave this way, and then
I
it's
wondered
just
if it
gonna
was
come
a
right
little
back to
bit
you.
of a flex where it's like, you're talking to a member of Team Europe. We don't give a shit what's going on over there. Like, we're coming to wreck shit.
I've definitely noticed, a lot of Europeans playing practice rounds. A lot of Europeans this week. I saw Bob, Rory, and Ludwig were out there together.
Well, if Bryson can't go to the Pro Tour, I don't know if US can keep up then.
It's on them. It's on them. Scottie Scheffler is here. He will be on Team USA. That is for sure. And I think Scottie sort of emerged as the face against the starting strokes. He thought it was very silly, and he let it be known that he thought it was very silly. And then change happened. I'm not saying that one leads to the other, but it doesn't hurt to be by far the best player in the world. But interestingly, in those press releases that came out about the changes to the Tour Championship, where they got rid of the FedEx Cup, there was also talk about the golf course being a really exacting test. And I thought, okay, that's going to be a single-digit under par winning score. And Scottie wants us to focus less on those sort of things. Here's Scottie Scheffler.
People have tossed around a lot of different formats for this tournament, and I think, a lot of talk. There's a lot of talk about match play and stuff like that. And the reality is we've had a match play tournament for a number of years. We had a match play tournament for 4 or 5 years in one of the biggest growing markets in the country, and that tournament still didn't succeed. And so I don't think match play is the best way to crown a season-long champion. And I think changing the format for your last tournament is kind of quite silly.
I was one of the guys who said match play. I've come around on it a little bit. And listen, I'm going to be talking about golf for a long time, so I'm going to come around on some ideas. We got to normalize,
You've come around to being pro match play, or you don't?
I'm anti it for this because I think you could just get a real dud of a Sunday, and that's what we had with the USAM. Like the USAM was so electric, and then it got to the quarters. Miles Russell lost.
Abdo.
Some wind just kind of went out of it, and then you've got a guy who's kind of out of gas in Jackson Harrington, and it was never really a match.
Right.
And then it's just kind of a snoozer. So, and I don't think that roll-up is gonna be really, the NFL doesn't do a field goal kicking competition to end the Super Bowl. Like they do what they've been doing all season. So, he did later say, and Rory said, maybe in the future they're definitely talking about more changes to this tournament. I think there is a internal acceptance that we haven't quite nailed this in 17 years, but I just think match play, there's a lot of potential negatives.
I think we're about to enter an era of maybe testing out some changes. There's a new guy there, and he has no ways to be stuck in, I guess. You know what I mean? Everything's fresh now. It's kind of like when we started this whole thing. We're like, let's test as much as we can. Let's see what we get out there. I think we might be in that little bit of an era.
He did. Rolap did say that he wants to be aggressive with his changes. Let's hear from Brian Rolap talking about Live Golf.
Look, I think my primary focus is going to be on strengthening the tour. And blank sheet of paper means blank sheet of paper. Whatever does that, I'll pursue aggressively. So that's how I view it.
It's an interesting line.
I love the way he talks.
You like it's like there's no smile, there's no where he's not trying to be friends with the guy who's asking the question.
He's like, I wrote this page in my book already. I'm gonna read it to you right now. Let me know whatever happens. I'm gonna be on that shit like white on rice.
He did announce a new competition committee to be headed by Tiger Woods. There's some other tour players involved. I think Keith Mitchell, I think Adam Scott, some other guys in there.
Maverick McNeely's on that.
Maverick McNeely's is on that committee. Let's hear him describe the committee.
To that end, I am pleased to announce today that as one of my first acts, we're going to have the formation of the Future Competition Committee. The purpose of this committee is pretty simple. We're going to design the best professional golf competitive model in the world for the benefit of PGA Tour fans, players, and their partners. It is aimed at a holistic relook of how we compete on the tour. That is inclusive of regular season, postseason, and off-season. We're going to focus on the evolution of our competitive model and the corresponding media products and sponsorship elements and model of the entire sport. The goal is not incremental change. The goal is significant change. I'm also pleased to announce, as the chairman of this committee, Tiger Woods has agreed to serve as chairman. PGA Tour is certainly fortunate to benefit from his experience and his time and his dedication that will be important to this effort, and I'm personally grateful for Tiger for offering to take this on.
My first reaction upon hearing the creation of this committee is, we didn't already have this committee? We didn't already have a competition committee?
I couldn't hear any of that clip,
Well,
but
you know what I'm talking
yes,
about.
I understand. I know exactly what you're talking about, and it would make sense to have a future-looking committee for your entity that's been around for 80 years.
You know what I mean? It's like we got a lot of committees going on. I think it's good. Listen, better late than never, but it's hard for me to fathom how we didn't have a competition committee. I feel like we did have a competition committee. There's the player advisory, there's the player board. There's a lot of governance going on. There's a lot of boards.
Almost too much governance.
Yeah.
Let's get back to basics. Let's get back to the product.
I think let's get Brian Rolap. Let's get him some wartime president powers. Almost like rule by decree. You know what I mean? Like what this guy says goes.
I think it's just one of those things when you're the new boss. You're like, all right, let me bring in a couple OGs. Let me bring the guy that's been here since 1996.
Let me squad up with Tiger.
Yeah. Let me see what they think. It's a nice mix of dudes.
Yeah, so it's obviously the tournament starts tomorrow. No starting strokes. So anybody from Akshay Bhatia in 30th in the FedEx standings all the way up to Scottie Scheffler, number one, despite Scottie more than doubling up anyone in the season-long points race. Rory McIlroy accumulated, and remember, Rory McIlroy won the Masters this year, and he won the Players, which they give you major points for.
Big time.
And he won a signature event. He accumulated 3,687 points. He's 3,769 points behind Scottie.
And remember, Scottie got off to a slow start.
Yeah.
He didn't even win any of his first
He
6 or
sliced
7
his finger
starts.
open. He missed the tournament.
Yeah.
Did you? He's better statistically this year.
Oh, this is the best he's ever been. Yeah. So the way that I do that is via strokes gained. So he's gaining 2.81 strokes per round. Last year he was about 2.5. So he's a quarter of a stroke, nearly better than he was last year, which is better than he was the year before, which is better than he was the year before. So this run, which can't be called a run anymore, started in 2022. He has gotten better every year since then.
That's scary.
Like, I actually think I think he could get better.
Well, there haven't been any bad weeks. Like, I remember last year he finished like 40-something at the U.S. Open at Pinehurst. He won Memorial, and he came through, and he was just like kind of out of energy. It was a tough week at Memorial. I don't think he played very well in Memphis last year or something. But he's got 13, I believe, straight finishes of T8 or better.
Yeah, he's figured out a way to just like. He's the greatest. He cares so much about the process. Like, he's addicted to the process. He cares more about it than anything, but he does not care at all about the result, which is like an insane thing to be able to do. And he's the best, and he just shows up, okay, hit this shot, now hit that shot, and I don't really care what happens.
Okay, Andy wants to play a clip. Let's play a clip. Oh, well, yeah, this is a list of the best age 29 seasons. Yeah, you might be looking at the top there at Scottie Scheffler. I'm looking at the bottom.
Okay.
Willie Wilcox.
I love this.
The GOAT.
So, I love this.
Willie was like, you know how happy Willie was that you posted this?
No, he was.
People forget how good Willie was for 1 year, but people forget how good Willie was.
So I love the age X season thing, because when you think about, okay, you've got Akshay's been a professional golfer forever, it seems like. And then you get Scottie's kind of like a late bloomer, right? Some of these guys go to college for 4 years. So putting everybody on their age season. So Scottie's age 29 season, I do it the same way baseball does it. So it's whatever age you were on June 30th. That's your age season. So actually Scottie just turned 29, but this is still his 29-year-old season. So Scottie and Tiger in their age 29 seasons 1 and 2. But yeah, Will Wilcox, that by far his best season. These are all the guys. This is the entire list of guys that made at least 10 starts and gained a stroke per round since 2000.
So what I'm seeing is that Willie Wilcox is the 24th best 29-year-old golfer ever.
Since 2000. But yes.
Willie Wilcox is the best the 24th best 29-year-old golfer since 2000.
That's correct.
That's pretty damn good.
Because basically everybody's been 29 at some point.
Everyone's been 29. That's how math works.
Yeah.
Well, Willie's...
He was stoked.
He was stoked. All right, we're going to do something that we usually do for the majors, which you guys seem to really love. We're going to do a random player generator where Ben brings up a number, and then we talk about the player. We're going to do, I think we should do it in increments of 5.
Okay.
So we'll have 6 total players, so we'll start from 30 to 26.
30 to 26, we're looking at 27.
Jacob Bridgman.
Oh.
Talk to me about Jacob Bridgman.
I
think
actually
the most low-key guy in the field this week.
I walked a lot with Jacob Bridgman today. And I stayed with him because he was hitting multiple shots everywhere. He was trying everything.
First time
here. He, let me hit an iron, let me hit a wood, let me hit a couple. Seeing how everything reacted, which I really liked. Jacob Bridgman has been on this run where he's just been able to beat most of the field every single week, right? He's been getting through this playoff run by finishing T19, T17. I think he is one of the guys that, like, if this were the starting stroke model and he started at even par, I would think he's one of the guys who could kind of make a move on his position. He's not going to win the golf tournament, but maybe he could go from a tie for 25th to a tie for 9th, right? I think he's like a mover.
So you think he could finish like 8th this week?
Yes, exactly.
And 8th pays
which would be a great result for him in a field of 30 with these guys. I'm quite high on Jacob Bridgman.
I mean, 8th this week pays a lot of money. Okay, 25 to 21.
Who's 22?
22 is Victor Hovland. So Victor Hovland was the bully. You could tell he felt bad about knocking Michael Kim off. He almost apologized.
Yeah.
We were talking about Victor a little bit earlier this week, that if he plays from the fairway, his numbers are looking pretty good recently.
It's really the only bugaboo left. Yes, he still has some short game issues, but that has not stopped him from winning golf tournaments. It's not stopped him from winning big golf tournaments. The approach play is so good right now. If you start looking at ball striking numbers, last 36 rounds, last 48 rounds, it's basically Scottie, Victor, Ludwig is essentially the guys that you get. And when you start ratcheting up difficult golf courses, Muirfield Village, major championship venues, I think this place is going to be pretty tough this week.
So the rough is juicy.
Rough is juicy. Greens are hard. That's where Victor thrives. And he's starting to put it all together. He had one bad round. He opened up in Memphis. He lost like 4.5 strokes to the field. Absolutely miserable. He's been stellar in his 7 rounds since. I think Victor, I have three guys. Not named Scottie Scheffler who I think could like legit win this golf tournament. It's Ludwig, Victor, Hideki Matsuyama.
All right, let's move on to 20 to 16.
Number 19.
Corey Connors,
Ooh,
your favorite.
not good.
Kind of forgot he was here.
Yeah.
Impressive effort to get. He missed some time. Impressive. This guy is a check casher on the PGA Tour.
He missed time, and his playoff run has not been good. So I was kind of surprised that he was able to get
You
here.
know, you saying that, I feel like a lot of guys who, like, I was kind of surprised Shane Lowry was here. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like there wasn't as much movement in and out this year as I thought there was going to be.
Do you know why? It's because there were because when they cut to 70 to start, it took more points this year to get in. So then you needed like a really good finish to bump in and bump out each week, and there was less of that. There was statistically less movement this
It
year.
felt like there was.
Yeah.
It felt like there wasn't as much drama.
Yeah.
Corey Connors, I feel pretty confident saying he won't win the golf tournament.
I'm quite confident in that. His metrics are going in the wrong direction. He needs to thread the needle. He needs to have like a perfect week. You know, he has to play out of every single fairway. He's got to hit more greens than everybody else. And oh, by the way, he's got to fix like these gaping holes in his short game that have been going in the wrong direction.
You
This
make
is
it
not
sound
good
like
timing.
he's the worst golfer out
Oh, I
there.
mean, relative to all these other
he
guys,
sucks off
he's
the tee.
awesome.
His approach play is garbage. He putts like an idiot. He's here at East Lake. All right, let's go 15 through 11.
Number 13. Lucky number.
Number 13 is Cameron Young. Probably no one with as much to play for this week. I do wonder if his personality, or almost lack thereof, might hurt him a little bit in this process.
Why?
I just think he's so quiet. He keeps to himself so much, where I think Sam Burns is playing practice rounds with Scottie all the time. Harmon's boys with, like, you know, the Henley.
He's not doing his own PR.
No.
I could see that. Yeah, I don't know if I even know what his voice sounds like. To be
Yeah.
quite honest, I've like never.
I had him on
heard him speak.
after he won, and I was like, "Are you going to celebrate?" He's like, "No, I'm just going to call my wife." So,
Well, the good news is, sets up really good for him.
Mm-hmm.
His game is as sharp as it's been all year long. You got to think he's brimming with confidence, all fresh off a win a couple of weeks ago, and he has a lot to play for. Some guys don't thrive in that, but this is the best golf we've seen from Cameron Young probably in his career, and that goes back to all those runner-up finishes that he
2022,
had,
he was in the top
Rookie
5
of the
in a
Year,
bunch of majors, yeah.
all of that. I think this is the best golf we've seen him play.
he's got a really high ceiling.
very high.
He's got a really, really high ceiling. He
Talent
He
is
has that
immense.
sort of gear. Yeah, he's one of the guys I always say. You know, people always ask, "Who's your favorite to watch hit balls?" Cameron Young's in my top 5 just because
yeah.
the pause and how much power he's able to create.
He's like the modern player.
Yeah.
Like where the
Yeah.
game is going, that's him. And
Yeah.
he's got a deft touch for a guy who hits it as far as he does.
All right, 10 through 6.
6.
Ben Griffin.
Wow.
What's keyed this? He's added a lot of length, hasn't he?
He's added a lot of length. He's a very good putter.
Might be addicted to creatine.
Might be. Yeah. Does creatine do that? Have we had this conversation?
Well, I did it to him. He said that he ingested a snowball of creatine and he was feeling extremely shaky.
I've done that with pre-workout.
Yeah, isn't that not? It's not the same thing.
I don't think so.
You
I
don't
don't
say creatine. You're a svelte guy.
Hey, thanks. No, maybe I should start.
Yeah.
I'll take some tips from Ben. Yeah, I think there's a couple of things here. You know, the he is definitely much longer. He's a 180, 181 ball speed guy, which starts getting you up into the upper tiers. He has a very controlled shot shape, which he hits a lot more fairways than I think people would realize. And it's not just the ball speed; he has club speed to extract himself from thick rough.
Yeah.
He just kind of puts it all. It's like a weird. It's like he's just good at getting the ball in the hole,
Yeah.
which is kind of a
It's
weird
an
way to say
important
it. But
skill,
he can make a lot of putts. He's got those par savers. He can make the long ones. He has a lot going for him, and I feel like he has this kind of like. I was in debt and out of the game, and now I'm in the Tour Champions. I've got nothing.
It's all
to lose.
gravy. He has a certain confidence about him. He's got a huge thing going on TikTok, which I think he finds a lot of fun in. I think he's done enough. I think he's
I
on
love
the
him.
team, right?
Oh my God, he's like my number. He's like my first pick.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. 5 through 1.
This is
Number
gonna.
2.
Ooh,
Rory McIlroy.
Yeah, I could have guessed that.
I'm not seeing it this week. I think Rory. I'm not saying he's just here so he doesn't get fined. I just don't know that. You know, when they asked him at Port Rush, what are you looking forward to this year? He said, I'm looking forward to Port Rush and the Ryder Cup. And we know that Rory,
He's going to go 5-0 with the Ryder
He's
Cup.
going to go 5-0 with the Ryder Cup. He's going to be a madman with those crowds. I think he's going to be on another level. I don't know if at this point in the season, I really do think, and it's a natural human reaction, we don't want it out of our athletes. We want them to be cyborgs who win something and then they're Scottie Scheffler and they're on to the next. I just think this has all been like one massive adrenaline dump since Augusta.
I agree with you. I was shocked.
Likes this place though.
I was shocked at how kind of open it is out there. It's no wonder he hits driver everywhere and just uncorks
Well, this
it.
is what they do to golf courses now. They take all the trees out.
It's unbelievable. I mean,
It's not my
there's
favorite.
no harm out there at all. You can just let it fly. The game's not sharp enough. You know, I actually, if I were to just like raw rank these guys, I actually like Ludwig more than I like Rory McIlroy this week, which is crazy considering he's.
And you're not even talking about odds. You're just saying.
No,
gun to
I'm
your
just
head,
saying like
who's gonna.
Yeah, just like who do I think is going to win this golf tournament? I don't care about anything else. Odds-wise, this is probably the longest you'll ever get Rory McIlroy, 8.5 to 1 in a field of 30 players at a golf course that he has demolished. So if you did want to get involved in a I only want Rory McIlroy in high upside, high risk, high reward situations, an outright bet because he might finish 19th or he might win this golf tournament.
Yeah.
I don't want anything like Rory top 5 does nothing.
Yeah, you're not counting on him to like shoot that 3 under on Sunday to finish 5th.
Does nothing for me.
Yeah.
So I want all of it or I want none of it. I tend to think it's none of it this
Okay.
week.
All right.
Before we let you go,
Yeah.
why is
Microphone.
Decky your
You got to
third?
use the microphone.
Why is Decky your third of all the guys that you said?
He is a scoring menace. I don't know if you saw his scorecards from last week, but I mean, he probably made more birdies or better than anybody. He puts a lot of crooked numbers on the card. I tend to think that you can clean those up, and he is, despite what you see from his ball striking is still unbelievable, and Hideki never foreshadows it. Like you don't see it coming. He's gonna wake if he wakes up and has his A- game, he blows away the field.
Yeah. All right, we're going to move into chirps from the gallery because I'm starting to hear some thunderstorms. I'm starting to get some wrap up from the producers. We talked to you about Akshay Bhatia and how he was our dog of the week, and we thought we were going to play a clip from him, and he apologized today that he didn't get the clip, but we do have an official statement from Akshay Bhatia on being named dog of the week. Let's watch it.
What's up, guys? Akshay here. Super pumped to be dog of the week. Wanted to do this for a long time.
Number one goal of your career.
Oh, dude. I mean, I was talking about it last week with Dan, and here we are.
Dog of the week.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Okay, so there's our dog of the week. We got the Ryder Cup auto qualifiers. Couple more guys made the team, and someone had a hilarious chirp. I have to get close to see this. Our team: drug dealer caddy, which is Harris English's caddy; sassy skateboarder, which is JJ Spawn. We've got Scottie Scheffler, Jesus Christ Superstar; Xander Schauffele, garbage app guy, this is X the everything app; Bryson DeChambeau, the Benson Boone of golf. And then Russell Henley.
The Benson Boone of golf is good.
Can I say something? Can I hit the imaginary honesty button? I don't know who Benson Boone is.
He's the guy. Do you watch the Grammys this year? He does backflips in a rhinestone thing.
Okay, I'm hitting the honesty button. I don't know who Benson Boone is. Yeah.
Gone.
People have been making that joke. I don't know who he is.
He's the kids love him these days. He does backflips and he looks like he's
the Benson Boone of golf.
Yeah.
Okay, the golf viewership. We talked about this early in the show. It's been very consistent. This is a very, very good news for the PGA Tour. I will say Liv got 426,000 on Sunday on Fox, which is more than I've seen them get recently. So I guess a rising tide in golf lifts all ships. The new tour schedule is out. Yeah, we talked about this. We can skip this one. And then the last one, we want to talk about this. Liv Golf revoked local Michigan guy's media credential because he did a podcast and he had Pat Perez on and he asked about the Saudi funding of the league, which is like a very 2022 question, whatever. Guy wants to do it. That's totally fine. Pat Perez answered. It was kind of a non-event. Liv responds by taking away his credential, which is the biggest self-own of all time.
It's the biggest cell phone of all time.
I'm not even saying whether they should or shouldn't, but just from a utilitarian, you work in PR, that made this story 25 times bigger.
Don't ever mess with another journalist ever again.
Wow.
That's what I would say.
Yeah. Don't mess with journalists, I guess. No, it's just very. I mean, it kind of feels like steps backward. I've said some not so nice stuffs about Liv in the past. I think I could still cover a Liv event, but I'm kind of not sure now. But I feel like taking away a local guy from Michigan Golf Live's credential because he asked a question about the funding of the league, which we all asked. It's just weak.
Sounds like beggars being choosers to me.
Yeah, no good. All right, that was a fantastic show. I actually really enjoyed that. We wrapped up the Creator Classic. We talked to Brad Dalke. We talked about some Press Conference 101. We did a random player generator. We'll be back on Sunday for the watch along, and then Monday from the studio, normal Dan on Golf. Give us a like, give us a subscribe. You guys are beautiful. I love all of you golf sickos. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, sickos.